Well, another year of great games has come and go, and personally I would have to say this year is definitely better than last year, even though I was a bit harsh on my top 5 best games of 2017 video. But with that said, my name is Notorious and this is my top 10 best games of 2018. The reason I decided to make a top 10 instead of a top 5 is that I'm removing a rule from last year, which is the completion rule. There are some great games I played this year, but I haven't finished them yet. But instead of making them honorable mention, I will just place them in my top 10. The other rules still apply, which are no remasters such as Shadow of the Colossus or Spyro. And the other rule, which is this is my personal opinion. So whether you agree with my list or not, please respect my opinion. With that out of the way, let's get started. I'm surprised that Evolution was this good, especially since Operation Genesis exists. This easily could have been a half-assed mobile-esque game to sell under Jurassic World movies, but instead they made a fun and traditional theme park simulator with a fun twist of managing and manipulating the dinosaurs' DNA to make each one of them unique. I had so much fun building my dream Jurassic Park with monorails and spear rails, or that one time where Spinosaurus got out of his paddock due to a storm and killed several people. Anyway, I recommend any Jurassic Park fan and even any park building games fans to give this one a shot, and if it doesn't convince you, well, you have Jeff Goldblum as your guide.
Time has come to build the last city on Earth. The city must survive.
Frostpunk is, for whatever reason, an underrated strategy game where you try to build a society as the ruler of the last city on Earth. The dire atmosphere is great with the harsh snow constantly blowing in the landscape, with the industrialized smoke and fire from my city as I build it from the ground up. Trying to keep my people's morals high and keep a steady pace of food and supply was the most stressful thing to happen to me this year, but in a good way, and somehow I always come back to this game even if it's just like for an hour or so. I'm not surprised that 11-bit studio created another fantastic survival game like their predecessor, This War of Mine. Another indie game I love, and I will be looking forward to whatever project they make next. Celeste is a fantastic indie game that just came out of nowhere. I'm sure I'm going to repeat what other people have said about the game, but the story tells a whimsical adventure, but also tells a tale about depression and anxiety in the most mature and intriguing way I've seen in a while. I love the platforming in the game as it's fast paced and exciting with a beautiful pixelated art style. Celeste in my eye is the most charming game of the year with a magnificent soundtrack, well written characters, and an engaging yet heart-wrenching tale, and I'm so glad it won Best Indie Game of the Year.
Researchers gave this phenomenon a name.
Tetris Effect is easily the best Tetris game I've ever played. It's Tetris, so everyone should know how it plays and how fun it is. And this game doesn't change much, except for the awesome zone mode where you have a chance to clear as many lanes as possible in a matter of seconds.
We've been taught to use our brain. Wisdom was more powerful than strength, money, or fame. But now
this game is compatible with the PSVR, and when using it, it becomes the most relaxing thing ever. Just seeing the beautiful colors flying to your face as the Tetris block forms into star-like shapes, and every time I play, I just become so entranced into the game, and it helps me clear my thought, reduces my stress, and helps me relax, which is amazing to say about a game. And I know I'll go back to this if I need to cool off or take my mind off something.
My name is Kara.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Connor.
This is our story.
Quantic Dream once again made a creative narrative with Detroit Become Human. Yes, the racial similarities to our world history and the games are a little on the nose, but that didn't stop me from having a great time being engaged with the characters such as Connor or Kara, and the overall story with the cybernetic world of Detroit is interesting to say the least. Sure, the gameplay isn't anything special from a Quantic Dream game, but the replay value on it is on point with so many different outcomes to get. The direction from David Cage, the music, the graphics, hot damn those graphics, everything about it is great. And I'm currently trying to get Platinum Trophy in the game, and when I go for a Platinum Trophy in the game, it means one of two things: my completion OCD is kicking in, or I love that game so much. In this case, it's both. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is by far the best Smash Bros. Game ever, with the largest and most ambitious cast of characters ever, with the likes of Snake, Cloud, Ryu, and Bayonetta returning onto the battlefield. The gameplay is refined to a T, with fast-paced combat with updated tweaks and updates to each characters and items. Playing this game with friends and family is so much fun, both competitively and casually, with so many options to play. Sure, the adventure mode could be better and the online could be improved, but that didn't stop me from having so much fun with my favorite characters, and I know I'll be going back to this game all the time if I get bored. God damn, what can I say about Monster Hunter World? Well, first of all, it gave me such a massive boost in terms of views and subscribers on my channel. But for the game itself, it's easily the most accessible Monster Hunter game for newcomers. The combat is addictive and spectacular as ever, with all sorts of weapons. For instance, I personally love the Insect Glaive, as you can jump around and slash everything in air. The monsters, both old and new, are creative, monstrous and complex, with beasts such as the Nagurgigante, the Puki, and the Andrav, and with those monsters come beautiful landscapes and high-paced music that get you pumped whenever you fight a monster. Personally, this is my favorite Monster Hunter game, and I cannot wait for the massive expansion Iceborne to come out. Hopefully it has G rank so I can play this game forever. Spider-Man by Insomniac is probably the most fun I had in a game this whole year, if not in the last few years as well. The web sling is just so amazing, and sometimes I just find myself swinging around the city, not doing any missions. The combat is so fast paced and hectic, with the ability to do air combos and utilize many spider attacks such as the web bomb or the electric webs. And the story is easily the best Spider-Man story in my opinion, with fantastic character development from Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Dr. Octopus, Norman Osborn, the whole lot. I was sort of worried that it might be an Arkham clone and using Spider-Man to reel me in for nostalgia, but instead I fell in love with one of the best action games I've ever played. So I don't repeat myself and praise the same things I said in my reviews. Go check out my review and see why I consider it the best superhero game of all time. Now, I had trouble deciding on these two. Both of them were just masterpieces. I had struggling to pick my number one between these two, but in the end, I made my choice just for the tiniest nitpicks. So, let's get started with number 2.
We must be better. You must never forget that.
Santa Monica managed to completely transform God of War from an action-packed adventure with a pissed-off god to an emotional and clever journey about father and son, with a slightly pissed off God. I love what they did to Kratos as a character and how they added more depth to him. The acting is still so fun and engaging, even though it's not as refined as the original games until the halfway point where the combat gets more in depth, and god damn, those visuals are just stunning. I remember playing in my big theater room and seeing the world shipping for the first time and hearing it speak for the first time. I shit you not, I started shaking the whole room from the speaker with the whole bases trembling, and I was just in awe in what I was witnessing. Once again, to hear a more in-depth review of the game, go check out my review of it and see why I love it so much, and I cannot wait for the inevitable sequel from Cory Balrog. And now, we move on to my number 1 spot for the best game of 2018. Now this game is a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. This game has so much to live up to, and this game was easily my most anticipated game of this year. And that game is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Stay strong. Stay with me. You have to love yourself a fire.
Oh my god, what can I say about Red Dead Redemption 2? Rockstar managed to make a rich open world in the Wild West that expands the world of the original Red Dead Redemption with a heavily detailed environment with beautiful wildlife and an unbelievable weather system, with the world feeling real with people always on the road and in the city with each and every one of them feeling unique. And the story is awe-inspiring, managing to add depth to already existing characters and make me care about new characters such as one of my favorite protagonists of all time now, Arthur Morgan. Sure, the gameplay isn't the most refined, but I still have fun having classic western gunfights and riding my beloved horse. I plan to make an in-depth video on Red Dead Redemption 2 and why I love it, and how it became one of my favorite games of all time. But for now, I'll end it here, because I could just go on and why I love this game so much. So guys, that was my top 10 favorite games of all time. I hope you enjoyed. I'm so happy how the gaming industry improves every year with greater titles each year, and I'm always looking forward to each year. However, there has been some stinkers this year as well, so I might release a top 5 worst games of 2018. I haven't decided yet, so don't hold me on that, but for now, I'll end it here. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below. And if you're new, why not subscribe? My name is Notorious, and I'll see you all next time.